Suppose that we have a condenser where we have process steam coming through the top and exiting through the bottom as condensate, as well as we have cooling water coming from the left and exiting through the valve to the right. So the primary objective of this cooling water is to control the temperature of this condensate. However, cooling water has a constraint. If the cooling water gets too hot, then the cooling water can start fouling the heat exchanger, or the condenser in this case. So we need a high set point override controller to make sure the cooling water does not get too hot. And we do this by, hey, if my cooling water is too hot, then I need to increase the amount of cooling water going through my condenser to make sure my cooling water coming out of my condenser is not too hot. And since if I increase cooling water flow, it decreases cooling water outlet temperature, so I have negative gain. And since I have negative gain in a high set point controller, then I need a high select function block. So as you can see in this example, we have three blue dotted lines. The first blue dotted line is a set point for the condensate temperature controller, which is controlled by the cooling water control valve. The second blue dotted line is a set point for the override controller for cooling water outlet temperature. And the third blue dotted line is the initial value for cooling water flow. Each vertical red line is a different sampling period. So let's suppose at T2 that the cooling water outlet temperature exceeds its set point. Then this override controller will supersede this condensate temperature controller and will therefore increase cooling water valve, and will keep adjusting cooling water flow until the cooling water outlet temperature finally reaches back to its set point. So here was an example where our normal operating condition was condensate temperature to control the outlet temperature of our steam. And then we had an abnormal condition where cooling water outlet temperature can be too hot, which can potentially foul the condenser. So in order to protect the equipment, which is the condenser in this case, we have a high temperature override controller to increase cooling water flow in the case that cooling water outlet temperature exceeds set point. I hope this example helps, and I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Thank you.